Alrighty, today we are going to be doing a thermostat on a 1995 GMC 2500 with the 350 in it. Tools you're going to need: channel locks or some kind of plier, a 9/16 deep socket and extension potentially, depending on what type of clamps you got, flathead screwdriver, some razor blades for the gasket material, and optionally wire brushes. That one's very optional, not suggested. I'm going to do it anyways though. Some rags, brake parts cleaner, a little bit of silicone, and a catch can bucket or something along those lines. I got a bucket. Those are the tools that you're going to need, and let's get into it. Alrighty, so we're going to start with draining the coolant. You don't need to drain all of it, just enough to splashy, be able to get your thermostat out. I'm going to plug this up with a rag, trying to limit the amount of mess I make here. I'm trying to save on this coolant because I'm not made of money. I can't really afford coolant right now. It's just my truck's leaking from thermostat housing. You actually might be able to see it. It's a little moist down here. Look at that. We're leaking. And we got, now that we're drained, we got 2 bolts right here. Actually, this is going to be double nutted because we got a ground, which I actually intend on relocating. And we got another nut right here, or bolt right here. So we got a stud and a bolt. This guy should come right off. It'll make a bit of a mess. Make sure you have some towels ready. Alrighty, we're now going to start working on the thermostat. So we're gonna, just to make life a little easier, I'm gonna remove the upper radiator hose. I know you don't have to do it, but it makes life easy. Now this is where the tools come into play. My extension might be a little bit long, but we're gonna crack these loose. There's that ground I was talking about. And then we got this stud here. And we're gonna have a little bit more spillage, so I'm gonna move that in position. I just have you sitting on the air intake hose here. One out. Time for the other. That's a bit of that corrosion I was talking about. That's where a wire brush is going to come in handy. Here's our thermostat housing. We'll get that guy cleaned up a little bit. We got our thermostat, which doesn't look too bad. It's definitely not an OEM unit though. We'll be throwing in an OEM unit. And that's a little fool, but I see why it's leaking. Never threw in a gasket to begin with. Alrighty, we're back. I pumped it out some, cleaned up all the surfaces. So I'm gonna drop the thermostat in. So we're gonna grab our gasket, maybe. Okay. Take two. Thermostat going in. As far as my knowledge goes, there's not necessarily any direct direction this is supposed to go. It sits flat. Make sure you soak the water out of the holes where the bolts go, because you can actually crack your intake manifold with the hydraulic pressure caused by the coolant falling into these holes. Okay. And you're gonna take your gasket, hopefully opened. There we go. Drop it on there. And you're going to take your intake manifold housing, and if you're smart, you hit your intake manifold bolts prior to, or with a wire brush prior to installation. You don't do it after installation like I just did. Okay, so we got the Torx back here. It is to be torqued to 25 foot-pounds. There you guys go again. There. I'm just trying to find the proper sized socket here. I gotta find the close enough American conversion, or not American conversion, but foreign conversion, which is looking like about a 14, which I do not have a deep socket for. And I gotta do my 1/2-inch torque wrench because looks like we're at 25 foot-pounds there. 25 foot-pounds there, so it's looking like they're close enough just by feel. So we're just gonna go through, we're gonna soak up all the leftover coolant here. It's looking like we're good. We'll fill up the system and we'll check back. Alrighty, once you focus, once you got everything buttoned up, cleaned up inside the engine bay, you're gonna start your truck. Yeah, I know it's overcharging. We're trying to work that issue out, but you're gonna just let it run. Start warming up, make sure your thermostat's gonna open up properly, and check for leaks. And we'll check back at that time. Alrighty, so the engine's up to operating temperature. And if we whatsoever. That and our overheating issue has been resolved. So that is how to change a thermostat and gasket on a 1995 GMC C2500 with the 350 in it. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.